said on the broadcast tonight that you were not going to play overseas. You were going to take some time. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that decision?
One thought they had the Caitlin Clark fairy tale all figured out. The record-smashing college icon from Iowa. The girl with the logo range bomb who was destined to single-handedly rocket the WNBA into fame. It was meant to be a coronation, the dawn of a glittering new era. Except, reality had other plans. The tale the public swallowed was a masterfully polished illusion. The truth of her rookie season is darker, messier, and far more jaw-dropping than anyone ever guessed. That perfect storybook image? It's been covering up a storm that's raged since her first pro game. And at long last, the real story is clawing its way into the light.
I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do the next day. So maybe play some golf. I think that's what I'm going to do until it gets too cold in Indiana. So I got that. I'll become a professional golfer.
Not too much, babe.
Yeah.
Wait. Keep
into the league dragging a mountain of impossible expectations. TV networks drooled over her as a ratings goldmine. The league crowned her its miracle worker, and fans hailed her as basketball royalty. But inside the WNBA's locker rooms, a few seasoned vets saw something far different, a ticking threat. Her debut wasn't a warm embrace. It was a full-blown trial by fire. Early defeats for the Indiana Fever were expected, a young squad finding its feet. But the real battle wasn't on the scoreboard. It was the silent war being waged by the very players she was supposed to uplift. She was hyped to be the wave that raised all ships, yet it didn't take long to see that some of those ships were quietly trying to sink.
A Rookie of the Year set to compete in a Pro-Am golf event next month. The Indiana Fever superstar will appear at the Annika, which is the next to last tournament on the LPGA Tour from November 11th through the 17th. She will also play in the Pro-Am event.
The tension finally exploded in a clip that set the internet on fire. During a matchup with the Chicago Sky, player Kennedy Carter didn't just foul Caitlin Clark. She launched a brutal off-ball hip check that sent Clark sprawling to the floor. There was no attempt at the ball, no hint of basketball logic. It was a sneak attack, plain and ruthless. No apology followed. In fact, cameras later caught Carter mouthing off about Clark, making it crystal clear there was zero regret. This wasn't a hard foul, it was a message. A warning shot from the league's old guard that the new queen wouldn't get her crown so easily. A cheap shot that lit a wildfire across social media, forcing everyone to ask, was this competition or straight-up jealousy dressed as defense?
Caitlin, that could be it. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Caitlin! Right from the pictures away! No! Caitlin! Oh, why'd you laugh at that? Are you being serious?
Wow.
Are we sure it didn't go in? Are we sure?
Open hostility wasn't some one-off meltdown. It was part of a nasty, ongoing trend that insiders now whisper about as the WNBA's unspoken rookie hazing code. From her very first tip-off, Caitlin Clark was hounded, body-checked, and knocked around in ways no rookie should ever endure. Players set illegal screens meant to floor her. Defenders shoved her long after the whistle. It was a full-blown campaign of physical intimidation. Veterans like Diana Taurasi had warned that reality is coming for Clark, but no one imagined that reality would look like an orchestrated beatdown. Even worse, the referees, the very people meant to protect the league's brightest star, turned a blind eye, letting foul after foul slide. That silence spoke louder than any whistle. The message was brutal and clear. The league's golden girl was on her own.
Is this like a I don't think so. Oh. Yes!
While her star player was being battered like a human piñata, Indiana Fever head coach Christy Sides found herself trapped in an unwinnable situation. Every post-game presser turned into a verbal minefield. She had to defend Caitlin Clark and beg for fair officiating without sounding like she was crying over losses. She sent the league clip after clip of the cheap shots Clark endured, hoping someone, anyone, would step in. But her pleas might as well have been whispered into a void. Behind the scenes, Sides was juggling chaos. A young, frustrated roster, a rabid media circus, and a superstar taking hit after hit. The pressure wasn't just about wins anymore. It was about saving the WNBA's crown jewel from being crushed, body and mind, before her career had even started.
Golf!
Perfect out here.
I never golf this early in the morning. I grew up in Des Moines and I played there a ton. And honestly, I try to get back there as much as I can to play with my family. My dad plays a lot. My older brother plays a lot. And, you know, it's super fun.
Sides waged a losing war for justice on the hardwood. Caitlin Clark's name was being twisted into ammo for a full-blown cultural battlefield. The Kennedy Carter hit wasn't just a foul. It was the spark that blew the whole thing open. Suddenly, loudmouth pundits from Stephen A. Smith to Pat McAfee were milking the clip for fiery debates about race, privilege, and respect in women's sports. Without even trying, Clark became the lead in a soap opera she never signed up for. Commentators who couldn't name 3 WNBA teams were suddenly experts, shouting over each other while missing every ounce of context. The whole conversation turned poisonous, drowning out basketball itself and trapping a 22-year-old rookie in the middle of a national meltdown she wanted nothing to do with.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA.
A machine, always hungry for clicks and chaos, went to work and spun a masterpiece of division. They built the perfect headline war. Caitlin Clark, the clean-cut Iowa sweetheart, versus a league of bitter, battle-worn veterans. It was a story too juicy to resist. Oversimplified, racially charged, and shoved down everyone's feed like gospel. Suddenly, fans were forced to pick a side. Every game turned into a culture war, every highlight a new front in the battle. The basketball itself barely mattered anymore. Pundits argued over Clark's privilege and whether she truly earned her fame, while conveniently skipping the obvious truth that her sheer talent is the reason they're even talking about the WNBA. The media didn't just cover the drama, they directed it, turning reality into their own high-stakes spectacle.
I feel like I'm like Tiger Woods. That's what it feels like. But then you go to the next hole and you get humbled instantly, so.
Controversy trapped Caitlin Clark in an impossible balancing act. As debates over race and privilege exploded, she found herself under a microscope, pressured to pick a side in a fight she never asked for. Some voices demanded she speak up, acknowledge the racial tension, and stand with her peers. Others warned her to stay quiet and just play basketball. No matter what she did, it was wrong to someone. Speak out, and she risked backlash for being fake or divisive. Stay silent, and critics called her naive or complicit. It was a brutal double bind, a 22-year-old rookie forced to walk a political tightrope while...
One thing as a very long-term sports fan I know is that officiating and refereeing is always at the top of a fan's list, of the media's list. Obviously, not every, they're human.
Rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, forged in the heat of that unforgettable college championship, became the centerpiece of all the chaos boiling beneath the WNBA's surface. It didn't fade with graduation. It followed them straight into the pros, where every matchup was hyped like a blockbuster title fight. Their first WNBA showdown crackled with tension, but things truly exploded later when Reese, in a heated play, swung her arm and smacked Clark in the head. A hit immediately ruled a flagrant foul. Afterward, Reese showed zero remorse, brushing it off as just basketball and claiming the outrage came from fans in their feelings. Then came her cryptic line, "It's not just about me." That single comment poured gasoline on the fire, proving this wasn't just a rivalry, it was... Felt like the chaos had hit its peak. A bombshell decision detonated behind closed doors, one that sent shockwaves through the entire sports world. It was nothing short of betrayal. Despite being America's biggest basketball phenomenon, Caitlin Clark was stunningly left off the 12-woman Olympic roster. The official excuse? Lack of experience. But insiders were quick to spill the real tea. Reports claimed veteran players didn't want the drama that came with Clark's massive fan base, fearing backlash if she wasn't given a starring role. So, the whispers went, they shut her out completely. The face of the league, the player who single-handedly revived interest in women's basketball, had just been blackballed by the very system she was saving.
Break. I haven't been out there yet this year, so I got new clubs that I need to break in and see how they swing. So hopefully get out there later this week on it.
While the world obsessed over the on-court chaos, a quieter storm brewed behind the scenes. As Caitlin Clark took hit after hit, literally and publicly, her teammates' silence became deafening. No fiery defenses, no rallying words, nothing. It begged the question, was the Indiana Fever locker room fractured? Were some players quietly bitter that the rookie had instantly become the face of their franchise? Or were they simply too young and overwhelmed to handle the media circus swallowing them whole?